I thought I'd bring this 300 TDI in the shop to do the cylinder head. There was a few reasons, principally because it's not so cold, but the other thing was I need to drop the coolant out, and as you know, when you drop the coolant out it goes all over. Now because I've got a cat, I don't want coolant going outside and him licking and drinking it and pegging out. It's the last thing I want. So I brought it in here where I've got control. The coolant goes on concrete floor, I can put sawdust, mop it up and then throw it over next door's fence as usual. Now, what is the first thing we do when we do any repairs? Disconnect the battery. Why? A lot of you guys say, oh, you should know, you don't fanny about with this, that and the other. You should know these things by now. You know, you can work on a car with a battery connected. The thing is, with Defenders, you never know who's been messing about with wiring before, and you could have live wires all over the place. Play safe. You don't want to make more work for yourself. So the first thing we're going to do, again, drop the coolant. It's most important when you're working on, you've got to do a cylinder head. You can drop the radiator water, fine, you know, pull the bottom hose off, but it won't drop the water completely out of the block because the water pump is higher than the cylinder head. If it was lower, well, no problem, it'll get through the water pump. Anyway, there we go. And yes, Rob, I have got it fastened up. The bonnet is fastened up. Right, let's get this coolant. Drain plug is in a god-awful place right down there. Why they couldn't have moved it a little bit further forward so you could get a socket in it, I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to drain that off, and while that's draining off, I'm going to put my wing top protectors on here because this is just bare paint. So we'll put the wing top protectors on. Now a question one of two of you might be asking is, why did I fill it up with antifreeze? Why didn't I just put water in it knowing that there was a problem? Well, I didn't know how long this car was going to be outside, and if I just put water in and it froze, I could make all even more damage. So that's the reason why. If it froze, you know, gets into a radiator, cracks a block, you can never tell here. So coolant is the best way. Take it down, you know, to low temperature. Because again, we don't know how much water's in this coolant. We really don't know, so it's best to add coolant and not take that risk. We have enough problems as it is. So I'm going to drain that coolant off and, like I said, put the wing top protectors on. I think on this video I'll show you the tools and equipment that I actually use to do this job. So, starting off, we used a Whitworth socket to disconnect the battery. Alright? It's not inch, it's not metric, it's Whitworth. Now, next thing, the plug. How to get the plug out? That's what I used. 3/8 drive, 6-inch extension and a universal joint, 13mm. You actually go something like that with it to get it out because the exhaust pipe's in the way. So, with that said, the next thing we're going to do, that's me and you, because you're going to help me. You're my apprentice, come on. You've got the tea made. So, I've dropped the coolant down to a reasonable level. It's down to the drain. There is still coolant in the radiator, we're going to take care of that later. But first of all, we're going to take off all the bits and pieces, like the rocker box cover, the air cleaner, and the hoses, the injector pipes, glow plugs. Might as well do the glow plugs while they're here because it's easier than messing about on the floor. Now, just a little thing about this. I'll tell you the way I usually do them. You can't see it, can you? Yeah, that was a bloody camera. I should get a cameraman. Now, usually when I do a 300 TDI cylinder head, I loosen off the bolts for the exhaust manifold and turbo and just pull them back out the way. Put a block of wood there. Now, some joker has welded on the catalytic converter on this one at so close to the chassis. I don't think I can do that. I'm going to have a go because I've got to take the bolts off anyway. But it's so much easier if you can just pull the head back, pull the manifold back. Then you don't have to mess about with turbo pipes and things like this or exhaust bolts underneath. We'll see, because he was complaining that when he sometimes in certain conditions with this engine he could hear a rattling, and I got underneath it and I said, yeah, somebody's cut the exhaust pipe and put the, I don't know whether they've taken the guts out of the catalytic converter, but when they've welded it on, there is a seam on the catalytic converter both sides, and instead of being vertical they've twisted it and it's hitting on the chassis. Bugger. Now, another bit of information, I'm not dragging this job on, but another bit of information I found off Martin, who was the owner this morning, that the head gasket was replaced last year. Now, that's interesting, isn't it? And they also replaced the radiator, and I asked him, why did he have to replace the radiator? And the other garage owner said it was leaking. Now, if you've had a brass 300 TDI radiator, you will know that they very rarely leak. It's not very often they leak through damage, unless they're damaged. When they get very old, the fins, the cooling fins corrode and drop out, and that leads to overheating. Now, the same garage last year didn't put the hose clip on properly, they put it on at an angle. So when it got up to pressure, it was sort of leaking out a bit, and this is when, well, I brought it in and we did a pressure test on it, we found out what was wrong with it. Spoilt his holiday. It's a shame really, because you know, it was such an easy fix. Right, ramble over, let's get on and take those bits off. You know something, I thought I'd leave the camera running this time and see if you can see it. I can't put my camera up any higher unfortunately, but we'll start by taking this sound insulation off that doesn't do anything. Upwards. And then we can sort of have a look at other bits, because there's so much to take off, it's unbelievable. I'll just pause it now. I'm going to go and get some special spanners to get the hose clips off. I'm a bit lazy when I'm taking the hose clips off, so I mentioned this on another video once before. I've got these little sockets, these metric sockets, that clip into your impact gun. When you can find the impact gun. Where's that gone? Oh, I see it. I've already got it out. And for taking hose clips on and off, it's a dream. You know, you can whisk through them. You know. The problem is, there's so many different ones. They're all different sizes. Oh, never mind. On with the show. Now this car has got exhaust gas recirculation. Oh, there's another different one. It's got exhaust gas recirculation, and this could be offer up a few surprises. You can never tell, can you? Radiator hose is off, the heater hose is off, I mean, another different size. This is why I like to take off, and when we replace hoses, put new clips on, and then they're all the right size. Oh, darn. Oh, then what I do as well is I fasten the clip back onto the hose once it's off. Then you don't lose it. I'm having a bit of a trouble getting these hoses off here. See, press going all over the place. I've disconnected the wire that goes onto the sensor for the exhaust gas recirculation. Taking this heater hose clip off here, fasten it up there. That's out the way. That's out the way. There's a pipe that goes for this exhaust gas recirculation that doesn't do anything. Might as well take off the turbo hose. Again. fasten it up. Now you obviously can't see anything here, but I'll have to just describe what you're doing. So you're taking that piece off, get it out of the way. That gives us a little bit better access to get the air intake hose off. And there is no clip on the air cleaner. That is good. Don't need to take that off. Don't need to take that off. Right, so what else have we got? I'll pull that air cleaner off. The air cleaner, by the way, isn't fastened down with the rubbers. The rubbers have all broken off. We might as well replace those while we're here. Ah, God damn. Bloody clips here. Absolute shite. There's a screwdriver. Now you can take that sensor wire off there and lift up, and we should be able to get to the hose clip for the air intake. You know, that's kind of important. Yeah, what have I done when you do? Let's see. Can't see for looking. There it is. There, up there. And then that can come out. And that can get thrown on the floor. Almost clip fell off. Now, yeah, that's these are all broken. That's no good. Right, let's move the camera around a bit. See what else we're going to take off this side. Well, we need to take a whole load of stuff off. Not that one. Yeah, that's held on there. Yeah, I'll take all this lot off. Oh, that's tight. That's one thing about this gun, it won't over tighten because it's kind of weak. Like me. Again, fasten hose clips on. Pull that pipe off. That thing's getting on my nerves, so I'm going to cut that off with a pair of snips when I can find some. Let me go and get some snips. Alright, back again. You see all the rubbers have snapped off. They're no good. And there's only one holding that one on. What else can we do down here? Whilst we're here, we might as well take that bottom hose off here, off the oil return. Take that off, and then we'll get some stockits. Take that breather off. There we go. Spin off now with that. Now, wherever possible, you can put the, let's take that off, get that out of the way. Put the bolts back in the holes, and then you won't lose them. That's that out the way. The reason we took all that lot off is so we could get to the glow plugs, the glow plug wires. I think I'll take off the injector pipes first. I think I'll take them off, gives us a bit more room. Pull the injectors out and yeah, get that side of it done first, I think. Right, back in the tick. I'll go and get a 17mm.